So I've started rust treating various areas on the chassis, started to paint up the patches underneath. So I've got to leave that 24 hours now, that rust treatment, and then that red oxide will properly have gone off. Put some stone chip on and probably paint some wax oil or something on there. Might spray it outside at a later date, but in the harder to reach bits I'll just put it on with a brush. So the next job I've decided is the start to clean up the axle. I can't do a very good job because you have to take the discs and the hubs, you have to strip it all completely, wouldn't you, to do a proper job and get it blasted and what have you. So there's I'm not doing that, no chance of that. So I'll use the needle gun, descale it as best I can, a bit of scraping off, and then just touch it up with some paint where it needs it, which will be pretty much all of it I think, and then just wax oil over the top of that. Need to skid up the back of these discs as well while we're on. So I've been annoying the neighbours, well, more than the neighbours, probably the whole village, with the needle gun on here, but it's cleaning it up quite nicely. Now I'm just starting to scrape off the more sticky, gooey, well, it's all wax oil, because when I got the car this was all still just in black paint, as you can see. So and I've skidded up the discs. I'm quite pitted through lack of use, but I might clean up a little bit, save me replacing them yet, because they've still got a good thickness on them, because they haven't done that many miles since I did replace them. So a bit more scraping, and well, this isn't coming off too bad. It's just messy. And then I'll flip it over. I must plug that before I flip it over, or I'll end up with oil coming out the breather. And then ready for a bit of fur tan on it. And then after that, I guess it's start to paint it up. Big bloody heavy thing. What do you say, Stan? Been a noisy afternoon, mate, hasn't it? I'm calling it a night for now. Starting to come up. Not too bad. Once we've got all this side cleaned up a bit, I'll give it a wash off with some thinners, and that should take the remains of the wax oil and that off it. But I've had enough, and I think the dogs want the tea. So yeah, cleaning up okay, isn't it? Quite pleased with that. I suppose I should do it with a bit of a wire wheel on the grinder as well, where I can get in. Give it every chance for the paint to stay on. I should really spray it, but that means taking it, putting it in the trailer, taking it down my lockup. To do it down there, I don't think it warrants it. I think I'll just brush paint it with 2-pack. It'll still give quite a hardy finish, won't it? I've talked myself into brush painting it there, I think. Now then, Rob. Well, it's been a slow week in the garage this week because, as you can hear, I've been quite poorly. I've had a cold. Well, I've still got it. I've got a sore throat and everything. Anyway, today I felt like doing a little bit, so I haven't done much. But I'm just going to pull the pinion off this axle. Swap my camera around. So this pinion come off the end of here because I want to replace the oil seal, in the back of the axle. It's only got a slight weep on it, but whilst I'm at this level I might as well do it. So trying to get this flange off here. It's threaded in that spigot end, so I've decided there's 3 ways I can get it off. One is make up a tool that will go in my slide hammer and pull it out. Second one is put a bolt between there and a plate, and then 3 bolts and jack it off. Or the third one is, I've only got one hydraulic ram that's hollow, and this is a bit overkill because it's 30 ton, but that should sit on the top with a bolt through it, which the best I've got is some screw bar, because the high tensile bolts that I've got, shut up Stan, aren't quite long enough. I'm about an inch short, so sadly I'll have to just use a bit of threaded bar, but I'm going to use a bit of stainless, so I thought they might have a bit more strength than just the usual rolled stuff. So I'm going to set this up with the bit of studding in there, and then the jack between that and the plate, and see if I can just jack it off. Well, I managed to find a function that I didn't know existed on my bloody phone, which is make me look like an old man in slow motion, hunched over a pump with no sound. Very thrilling, isn't it? So I'm pumping this here to pull that pinion spigot out of the flange. I could barely feel anything happening. It was all quite easy how it was coming out, and I guess that's partly to do with the pump being overrated for the job. I did think of another way of doing it, which I could have just put a big socket over it, put the bolt through the middle, bit of screw rod, and wind a nut down the thread. That would have drawn it out the same. Anyway, it turns out that with these, when they're put in, they're actually Loctited in as well. So it does need a bit of force to get it out. But this was that overrated, it was hard to tell. Well, I managed to video that with no sound. Excellent. Too many buttons on the phone. Anyway, that was totally overkill. It just fell off. Absolutely fell off. So I've just got that to undo. And then I can I'll just hold this and undo the centre nut, and I'll be able to get it at that seal. Yeah, it was a bit of overkill, that. The slide hammer would have been more than good enough, but I would have had to have made something for the slide hammer, so this was actually quicker. So next job, undo that. I've got this holding tool. I made it for doing a TR7 or LT77 gearbox, get the flange off that. I think it was maybe that. So anyway, I'll hold it with that and then use my rattle gun on there. That should whiz that nut off. That made light work of that. And that's just going to pull off by the looks of it. Oh, lovely. And that's me getting at the seal. There's 2 different seals, apparently, a thin one and a thick one, so I need to get it out so I can order the right one. Excellent, that's gone well. Right, let's got that out. It's clearly the thicker one. Don't think that'll go back in. Anyway, no problem, I get that ordered now. Bit busy over the weekend, but come next week I should get this finished, cleaned off and get it painted. Then hopefully get it back into the car. Now then, so a little bit of a update on what I've been doing this last week or so. So I haven't been doing that much because I got cold and I felt awful. So pretty much sat in the chair a lot last week. and being at work as well. So I didn't do much garage stuff. Been away in the camper van with Barb's as well, so that got rid of another few days. Anyway, I've started back on the axle. I'll show you what I'm up to. I finished the awful job of scraping, washing, needle gunning all the axle off, and then well, once it was all washed down, I've treated it with fur tan, so it's like a rust converter, which nothing works really except for getting everything sandblasted, but I'd have to take the diff out and all the rest, and I'm not going that far. So fur tanned it, and then I've just been doing it in red oxide. So I'm going to just brush paint, but brush paint some 2-pack black on top of that. So that's moving forward. You'll notice there's an oil seal in there. Don't fucking talk to me about oil seals. What a pillock of a job I did on that. Honestly, I was putting it in at that angle where it was there, and I thought it was all going in fine. Turns out, you can't really see because I've got the wood there, bloody picked up at the bottom, wasn't going in square. I've twatted it in, it's slightly deformed it. Anyway, it's fucked. I'll have to put another one in. Quite annoyed with myself, that much that I bought a takeaway and indulged myself on the takeaway to cheer myself up. I felt such a pillock. Never knackered an oil seal in about 40 years putting one in, but I've done it now. What's really annoying is these oil seals, I'd bought an original one because the price point on them, they start at about a £5 for an unknown make and go up to 40 quid for an original. I couldn't, and there's many price points in between. Usual aftermarket spares availability stuff. So I managed to find this one, which had been listed quite poorly, an original one, and I got it for 18 quid. I was really chuffed. Of course, I fucked the bloody thing now, and the only one that's available that I can find is 40 quid. Well, I can't bring myself to spend 40 quid on an oil seal. So I think I'm going to get one of the allegedly OE manufacturer quality ones as opposed to completely spurious one. Probably all made in the same Indian or Chinese factory. However, they're about, I think it's about 12 or 14 quid. So as I've already wasted 18 quid plus the cost of the takeaway. That was the day you do that. Anyway, that's the flange off it. The motorbike stand has paused. Nothing's happened on that. I've got several bits like the airframe, those radius arms, got them plastic coated. Not sure if that's worthwhile, but they needed blasting and painting or something, so I've plastic coating. I'm not a lover of it. As you know, the water gets under it, it creeps and it peels off in sheets, but I've decided that it'll probably see me out. Anyway, so press the bushes in and press the joint in there. 12 ton that took to press in. Bloody tight. Anyway, got that done. And I've also got some other stuff coated. I've got the springs blue. God, it's like pimped up, isn't it? Yeah, so anyway, got them done. The brake shields, anti-roll bar, brackets. So saved me a load of painting. And I've actually bought new shockers as well. They haven't come actually. I'll have to check on that. So I'm hoping to get well cracked on with this, get it painted, and then there's the cradle that holds the fuel tank in to come off and go back on. That's how getting plastic coated. Just the cradle, and then once I'm painted, really I should be able to reassemble. I've got a little bit of painting to do under the car. and a little bit of stone chipping that'll be difficult to do once the axle's in. So a little bit of that, and maybe some brush on wax oiling. I'm not spraying the wax oil in the garage here because the vapour, it goes everywhere. I've done that before inside. It's not a good idea. So, and it settles on everything you don't want it to bloody settle on. So yeah, I'll just do a bit of brush painting, wax oiling, and I can do some airline wax oiling when the whole car's actually finished. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. So hopefully get a bit more done over the next few days, and maybe even I think I'll start moving forward because I've got some time off work this next week, so I'll get moved forward on that, whatever it is, this engine stand as well, in between paint drying and getting sick of laying on my back under the Land Rover. So yeah, because that job's still set up in there for these to be drilled out, so I haven't moved forward on that at all. But as I say, I've been poorly bad. See you later. Okay, I've given this axle its first coat. It should only need 2. It's just really to go over it, just to make sure I've covered it completely, because as you can see, I can see bits where the red oxide's still coming through. Tell you what, I much prefer spraying it to bloody brushing it. You know, and you just think, yeah, brush painting. It'll always look so much better sprayed, doesn't it? But hey ho, it'll be fine. It's under the car. There's only the MOT who'll see it and me. So I've done that. Anyway, on the on that note, brushes. I was in the Lidl today. These brushes, pack of 17 brushes, and I think it were £6 or £7.99. And I thought, oh, I'll give them a go. You know what? I've not noticed one bristle come off with them. They've been excellent, and all long handled like that. There was, I think, 4 like that. Another set where they've got a bit of an angle on the bristle, and then the other 2 sets of 4 or 5, whatever they were, within it. More like a flag brush for getting behind radiators and stuff. But again, they'll be useful on the car. So dead good. I'd recommend them. Now, Lidl, do you want to sponsor me and buy me food for a year? That's the packet. What's left? All the others I've put them away on the shelf. I can't reach them to show you. But yeah, 17 piece. Yeah, very good. Recommend that. So just check my battery. The battery was flat on the TV. It's still taking about 5 or 6 amps, isn't it? It's been on a while now. I do wonder if this battery's on its way out through lack of use. I don't know what the date is on it. Bound to be getting old. Anyway, I'm going to get my brush washed and then give that a bit of a run out. And yeah, got to run out. And what's for tea tonight? Well, I think it's pie, vegetables, gravy, and beer and wine and crisps and nuts and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, good night coming on. Right, see you later. Bye. Stanley, you gonna lie down? Lie down. Good boy. Got Frank. He's already laid down. Should we go? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. I've just got here in the TVR. It's a bloody loud thing, that. I've just got into my MR2 just to move it and put that in the garage. I tell you what, this is a bloody lovely little car. It's just a shame it's got no luggage space and it's flat as a witch's tit. But it's lovely to drive.